and clean and wholesome.
My captions are never clear or clean or wholesome, but hello, friends. I'm sorry I'm really
Hello,
loud.
friends.
What
Hello.
is volume?
What is
What is
volume?
volume?
We didn't talk about who was going to do introductions at all because technically it's Eva's channel, but I'm the DM today, so I'll start. Hello, and welcome to us running Stille Nacht. Narrative, kind of horror, mainly melancholy game where I, the DM, know nothing. And my players are going to make the story as I try to follow along and piece pieces together of how a certain murder happened way long ago during a creepy, creepy flood. So we'll quickly go around if people introduce themselves, and then we'll start with the summoning. Graeme.
Hi everyone, I'm Graeme, or Graham Crackers with a Z. Today I am excited to play this game with all of you, and I'm excited to be with these wonderful people. I don't know what else you want from me. Today I'm playing Hans.
There you go. Hans is... Today you're playing Hans. Mare.
Hi, I'm Mare. You can find me on Twitter, Archmage of Dice, which is right here. That's it for now. I'm super excited to play this game. I'm hopefully gonna cry.
Who are you playing?
I am playing Magdalene.
Thank you. And of course, Eva.
Hi, it's me, Eva. This is my channel, so I don't really think I need to explain too much about that. I am thrilled to be here playing another stress-filled, if differently stress-filled game. I am playing Johanna Marika, and I did not roll my R very well on that one. I'm sorry, Anniek. Mostly I'm here to frustrate Anniek.
That's valid and fair. My name is Anniek. You can find me on Twitter at Anniekster. Yeah, I'm running this game today and for a few more times after this, but this is our trial run. I've been pretty sick. So I didn't learn the rules really well because my head just won't retain information. So we're just gonna wing it. It'll be beautiful. So we are going to dive straight into this game with our 3 villagers on the anniversary of one of the worst floods in the history of Germany, the Netherlands and Denmark. It's Christmas Eve. And the rest of the village is being called to church. You've been invited somewhere else. A medium has arrived at this village and has invited you to they call it a summoning. And the summoning is to be performed at the local lighthouse, or rather the small house attached to it. It's been abandoned since the flood because the water lines don't make much sense anymore. And it is what they would consider a quiet enough environment, far enough away from the rest of the village that you're not going to be disturbed during this summoning. And the reason for this summoning is well known to everyone in this village, because ever since that flood 3 years ago, the village has been haunted. Every year, on this night, the church bells ring, seemingly without end, seemingly without rhyme or reason. Lights won't stay on, and everyone can see people they've lost long ago. Nobody knows why. The church has brought in exorcists, priests. There have been cleansings. Nothing has worked. And everyone has lost someone, or more than one person. And it's very hard to move on if they keep showing up year after year. So, we have a room under a lighthouse. The medium, a woman of indeterminate age. It's hard to tell. She's one of those, she's either 13 or 30 kind of looking people, is waiting for you. Which one of you will arrive first?
Hans will arrive first.
Medium will nod at you. doesn't speak to you, gestures towards the table.
I'll take a seat right there.
All right.
I think
Who'll be
I
the next one?
I think I arrive next. My hands are wringing, shaking slightly because it is cold. And as I enter, I silently take a seat next to Hans.
That would leave me hesitantly coming through the door and looking around at who else has gathered, and then quietly taking a seat.
How do you behave seeing the others in this room?
I am confused, hesitant to... I recognize them both, but hesitant to kind of greet either of them.
Oh, Johanna. I'm gonna pat the seat next to me.
Magdalena. I'll sit next to her.
Hans is just sitting there. He's got like a big bushy beard and he's just kind of scratching at it.
Anniek, did we know that who was asked to arrive, or is this a surprise to all of us?
It is a surprise to all of you. Well, welcome to this summoning. I will remind you why you have gathered here. I have invited each of you because I've asked around in the village about this haunting that happens every year, and your names kept cropping up. We are here to try and find the truth of what happened and see if we can help the lost souls find rest. I will give you one very important piece of advice. Speak the truth. I will be summoning the ghost of the deceased. They will manifest. And if you lie, and they can tell, we can all come to harm. Great harm. Do you understand? She stands up from the table, moves to a travel trunk that is placed nearby, and she grabs a candle, small bowl of water, a jar filled with dirt, and sort of a bundle of herbs. She places these at the center of the table and takes a seat next to Hans, leaving a single chair free. To start the summoning, I will ask you all to join hands.
Almost immediately, my hands are tightly gripped on both of yours.
She lights this candle, uses it to light the herbs, sprinkles the earth into the water dish, and simply intones in a language none of you, I think, know, because Latin is not very well known in this area. Intones in a language you don't understand. And I don't know what your expectations were for how this was going to work, but it is quick. It is like they were waiting to be invited in. From 1 second to the next, that last chair is taken by a very spectral image of a man you all knew very well. The ghost looks at Magdalene. What was my name?
Heinrich.
He looks at Johanna. How old was I at my time of death?
28.
He looks at Hans. What were my daily chores?
Well, you were tanner, you worked with hides, mostly.
His gaze returns to Magdalene. Where was my body found?
It was behind our home.
I died 3 years ago. My soul finds no rest. I drift aimlessly. Yet year after year, I am pulled back here. I am tired, and I wish to move on. Are you here to help me remember how I died so I may finally rest in peace?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, I will ask my players to send me the first verity checks. Truth or lie? The spirit kind of shimmers and seems to become almost more solid. Still very much washed out, but it's almost like a little more color is seeping into this form. And he looks at Johanna. On the morning of my last day on Earth, I was at church to burn a candle. Why did our paths cross?
We were burning a candle for the same person. I was leaving as you were coming in.
I remember hardly anything. Who were we burning a candle for?
For your father, my grandfather.
I remember now. Hans, I saw you at the fish market and I called out for you, but you didn't react. Why?
It was raining that day. It's hard to hear a lot of people moving around.
Strange. Would you normally have ignored me?
No, we were fishing buddies.
Fishing buddies.
We worked together.
Right.
I used to sell you fish. There was no reason I'd ignore you.
Right. Of course. Magdalene, what were you doing that morning?
I was up early, as I always am, baking bread, so it would be ready by the time the village started waking up.
Were you alone all morning?
No. My mother, she was helping me. We baked together.
I don't remember your mother very well. Were we friends?
No, not really.
Interesting. All right. If you could send me your verity checks. the spirit of Heinrich looks confused, but at the same time seems to be accepting what you're saying. It's difficult to tell an expression from an incorporeal being. He shifts a lot in his chair, trying to sort out what's going on or what isn't true or what is. Hans, I know I saw you at noon when the church bells were ringing, but I don't remember where. Where was I and what was I doing there?
Well, you were, near my house, of course. I was returning from the market, and, you must have seen me right near my house. I was headed home to go see my wife and check in. Mila.
Interesting. Did you always go check on her at that time?
No, it was, just one of those things where, yeah, the mood takes you.
And why was I there?
Well, I don't know. I spent 3 years thinking about why you were there. I still don't know.
Strange. Very strange. You see, as the ghost sort of turns towards the medium, as in asking her for help making sense of all of this, she simply addresses him with, "They know to tell the truth." And he turns to Magdalene. Why was it so noisy at our house?
My mother came over and we were fighting.
What was the fight about?
It's been so long ago, I don't really remember. Something about not approving. She never liked you.
Why would she not like me?
Why would any parent want to see their little girl grow up?
Wasn't she proud of you?
I don't know. If she was, she never told me.
Has she still not told you?
She's also no longer in this world.
But I saw her on my way here.
She's no longer with the waking world.
I see. Johanna, I saw you rushing about. Why were you in such a hurry?
A lot of things needed getting done during the day. You know me, sometimes I don't really plan things out in the most methodical manner.
Why were you and Hans ignoring each other?
I felt like for all he said about you two being fishing buddies, there was something else going on. That his prices weren't exactly fair. But I don't really know fish prices. I'm more concerned with my own.
You're being evasive. What were you doing at midday?
I was walking from my apiary into town.
Hans, when you saw me and I saw you, who else was with me?
When I saw you, you saw me. I think Maggie was with you.
Maggie.
Magdalene, your wife.
I don't know much, but I know I never called her Maggie.
Well, I mean, I can give nicknames to people, right?
Please continue.
Well, anyways, I saw the two of you together. Looked like you were talking about something. I didn't want to pry, so I went about my day.
If Hans saw me at midday with Magdalene, and Magdalene was fighting with her mother in our house at midday, I am very confused. Please send your verity checks to the medium. As Heinrich asks that question, he shifts even more, seemingly to grow larger, almost from the small figure he was in the chair before, and he just goes, "You are lying to me. You were told to tell the truth." And if Eva could take a point of harm on her sheet. And if Graeme could take a point of harm on your sheet. As the echoing voice of Heinrich just tears through you. The ghost remains more solid looking, but larger. He turns towards the medium and just goes, "They are not here to help me at all. They are here to help themselves. And the medium is just soothing him. No, give them another chance. So I advance my wrath marker. All right. Very well. Let's give them another chance. Hans, in the early afternoon, the wind picked up and got so strong that the roof of the local tavern fell in, was torn off, we should say. Caused quite a commotion as it fell into the village square. But you were there to help, weren't you?
Yeah, I rushed in, pulled Frederick out of the rubble. His leg was broken, nearly snapped, and I tugged him out, dragged him away. I was looking desperately for any place. I mean, if the tavern's roof ripped off, there was no place I could get people safely, anywhere. So I dragged him away from the rubble. I called out for help, and I left him with his back up against one of the nearby houses.
Magdalene, how did I get hurt?
The roof wasn't the only thing to get torn off. There was a lot of shrapnel as well. You also got hurt a bit in the neck and the shoulder as some wood hurt you. It was very bloody.
Why did you not help?
I wasn't there. Otherwise I would have.
Johanna, someone fought. Who was it and why?
Tensions were sort of high all day. I think the biggest fight was probably between you and me, honestly.
Honestly? Interesting choice of words. What did we fight about?
We had a disagreement about inheritance, and I would like to think we both said things that we regret, but I don't think either of us did.
Inheritance? From who? From him to you? From your grandfather?
From grandfather. I don't know what became of it now. That was part of the disagreement.
Did you... Who was it supposed to go to?
Well, I would have liked to have thought it went to me, and Uncle Heinrich seemed to think it belonged to him.
I know I'm not the smartest, but I don't think that's how inheritances work. Usually goes next generation.
Well, it depends on what it is, isn't it? But it doesn't matter because it can't be found now. Why? Do you think you should have it?
Of course not. But it does make sense. If it goes to Heinrich, it goes to me. I was his wife. But that's neither here nor there because grandfather is also no longer with us.
A lot of people aren't with us anymore.
Yeah.
I would think their loss would be greater than a trinket, a couple of coins, but...
No, you're right. If I could have Heinrich back, or my mother, or my brother, I'd give everything in the world.
I simply wish to rest. Jacqueline, what were you doing in the afternoon?
I was doing some last minute shopping in the market for Christmas dinner. Christmas Eve dinner.
Yet you said you were not there to help when I got hurt.
Because I was on the other side of the market.
Right. Of course. Johanna, I don't know the inheritance you speak of, but when I died, grandfather was alive. I'm confused.
It was more of a discussion of what would happen rather than what had happened. I don't think any of us expected him to die the way he did. It was a speculative conversation.
I see. And now no one has it. How fitting. Please send me your verity checks. You guys are killing me.
Or are you killing us?
Yeah.
Please talk amongst yourself while I look something up in the rules that I did not think would be relevant today at all.
What happens if everyone says truth the entire time?
This is promising.
So when it comes to secrets, are we able to reveal those at any time?
Yes.
Okay.
Good, okay.
Right. Wonderful. How's everyone's day going?
Is there something you want to tell us?
I
Graham?
stress.
Graeme has nothing to say. Maybe Hans does, but... What happens if 2 out of 3 of the people die because the ghost got angry and then you just have one person left for the rest of the show?
There's a medium there.
It's true. So what did Heinrich look like? I think we should go around the 3 of us and describe Heinrich.
I think that's an excellent plan.
I think it is.
I think Heinrich had shaggy brown hair.
I think he had very deep brown eyes.
I think he was tall?
I think he smelled like tar and oil.
Probably right. He was very strong.
He had a scar just here from an accident when he was younger.
It was very foolish. I remember that day when that happened, when we were still young.
I remember hearing something about that. Something about out for a walk in the woods.
He was trying to impress me, saying he could catch me a lovely fox for a nice rat.
I don't remember him being a good hunter. Did that work out?
No, it did not.
I mean,
All
he was a
right.
better fisherman than a hunter.
I have it figured out. I think. I found it. Swear to God. Okay, so Heinrich's spirit, ghost, whatever, once again seems to become quite angry as he yells, "I give you chance after chance, and you keep lying to me." Magdalene, please take a harm. It's my duty as the medium to inform you we have reached the second stage on the wrath counter. But also the second stage on the memory counter. Some of you are looking better than the others. Hans,
Yeah, buddy?
in the evening when the wind died down, it even stopped raining for a while. I wanted to go for a walk around the shores. Why did you stop me?
I wanted to talk to you about something. I lied earlier about why you were near my house. You and Mila had been getting closer than personal. And I want to talk to you about it first. As friends. And before I could, I saw Johanna running from your house in tears. And we talked about that instead.
Why would Johanna be at my house? And why would she be in tears?
I don't know.
You can feel Heinrich's gaze turn to you, Johanna.
I felt badly about our conversation earlier. It wasn't so much an apology as a clearing of the air. And Magdalena said that you weren't home, and that you were not in a forgiving mood. And I thought I would just go around and find you in your usual place, out back, but She didn't want me going back there for some reason. I don't. I thought maybe I would just go home and cool off. Maybe not my best choice of words, but
Magdalena, I'm starting to remember a little more. I wanted to take that walk to get you something from the woods like I used to. But I lost something, or something was taken from me? What was it?
Yeah, you wanted to try and, you remember when we were younger, you wanted to get me some nice furs for a lovely winter jacket. You had a knife from your grandfather. It was gone.
I never went anywhere without it. Where would I have lost it?
I don't know.
I saw your disappointed face. Was that why?
I don't know if disappointment's the right word. I lied earlier too. I've been avoiding you. I was avoiding you that day. I know why my mother and I were fighting. I saw you and Hans talking quite close, quite intimately, and I didn't want to talk to you. So I was avoiding you that day, and my mother tried to use that against me, so since she never approved.
I'm sorry. That sounds like you were hurting. I don't think that was ever my intention. Although I'm starting to remember I never did like your mother. Hans, why did you stay inside even though the weather had finally cleared up?
I stayed inside to talk to Mila. Went home after that talk, had a lot to think about. Not a lot of answers, and night's no good for fishing. So I went home, made dinner.
Johanna, you said you went home to cool down. Is that everything you were doing in the evening?
No. I mean, I went home. I checked on the bees, of course. I did some very serious beekeeping things. And I started to write a pretty angry letter. But I didn't leave home again, if that's what you're asking.
Alright. If you could send me your verity checks, and then we'll go to break. because I have a sore throat and I've been drinking tea like nobody's business, so there will be plenty of bio breaks.
I clear the... You're muted. Oh, hi.
Oh, gee, thanks. I was
Jack-
just drinking beer. Well,
You're
true to
muted.
form. Welcome back, my darlings. Welcome. So, we just finished with our dearly departed Heinrich trying to sort out whether or not our villagers are telling him the truth as he tries to recount the last 24 hours of his life and hopefully find out how and why and by whose hand he died. So not only he, but all of the spirits that return to this village every year can find rest and move on. Villagers have been reminded to tell the truth, something they're not the best at, but they're learning. I feel like they're getting there, maybe. Heinrich seems pleased with your most recent recounting. And he settles down a little bit because your medium rolled terribly on all her dice. Magdalene,
Yes, Heinrich.
shortly after midnight, when the water was starting to flood our homes, I wasn't asleep like so many were. I was on my way to the back of our house to check the livestock, the hides, the tannery. I don't remember. Where were you?
I was following you because I thought you were going to go rendezvous with Hans. I stayed hidden around the corner just to keep an eye on you.
Other than a witnessed conversation, I don't remember giving you a reason for such mistrust.
Jealousy, I guess. You were always out on the boats with him, very good friends, and I guess I just felt lonely during the day.
Johanna, what roused you from sleep before the flood came?
That was me, who was muted. And also, what was the question? I'm the worst.
It's fine. It's a very stressful situation being in a room with a ghost.
It is. It is.
Considering you will have horrible PTSD from the flood anyway. I think you're holding together admirably, honestly. Heinrich asked you what had roused you from sleep before the flood came.
It was... It was a strange noise. And I don't know if it was like a ringing or a clatter. I don't even know what it was, but I couldn't go back to sleep. The night was just felt right for what followed, I guess. Auspicious. But I didn't know it at the time. It just felt like a bad dream you couldn't remember.
And Hans, why were you so sleepless that night?
I was worried. The waters were rising. Being a fisherman, you get a bit of second sense before a storm comes. Right about the right time when you're ready to cast a line, right at that calm. But there wasn't a calm. And I was headed towards my boat, trying to figure out if I can float on the water that was starting to rise. Planning to come back to the town.
What did you pray for before going to bed that night?
I prayed for a lot of things. That you and everyone would be okay. That maybe the storm would pass us over. That someone wouldn't be rash.
That's an interesting choice of words, Hans. Who were you worried about?
Mila. Magdalene. You.
I'd ask why you would think I'd be rash, but since I've already said I was worried about you and Heinrich, I can see why.
Yeah. I just wasn't fast enough.
Magdalene, you said you followed me and stayed hidden. Is that all you did? What were you doing right after midnight?
Crying. It's when the flood happened. When I found you. Everything just happened so fast, and the flood, the dead. I almost died. It was just a lot.
I understand. At least I think I do. Things are getting clearer now. I feel like I'm remembering more. If the players could please send me their verity checks. Let me just do my posture check because I was in fact slouching terribly. I do think it's getting clearer. The flood was awful. It took so many so quickly. The wind was carrying the screams of both people and livestock. There were already bodies floating by. I thought this was how I would die too. But I did not. The last thing I saw Johanna, why did you not prevent my death?
I didn't know. Everything was happening so fast. It was like the world stopped, and it was like being in the center of a storm, and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't save anyone, and I didn't understand what I was seeing. I'm sorry.
Hans,
Yeah.
why did you not prevent my death?
I wasn't fast enough. I made my way from the boat, and the water was rising. You know how fast you can wade in water that's waist deep. It's real hard. And I could hear the screams as I got closer, and by the time I got to your house, you were already dead. And so was Mila.
Magdalene. My wife. You were there. You told me so yourself. Why did you not prevent my death?
I don't know. It was a very stressful day. The entire day was me worried about you and Hans, and I should have just talked to you instead of following you. I think I was just angry. And that's why I didn't stop and prevent your death.
I suppose I can understand that. Though I wish things would have been different. players could please send me their verity checks. Trying to remember. Trying to make sense of what you've told me, because you're here to help me. You're here to help me find peace and rest. I met Johanna in the morning at the church as we were burning a candle for grandfather. It's strange. I don't remember him dying. I called out to Hans, who ignored me because he could not hear me because of the rain and the noise at the market. He would normally not ignore me. Magdalene was baking with her mother. Her and I don't get along. Made sure I wasn't there. After the market, Hans went to check in on Mila. I was there, but I don't remember why. Magdalene was fighting with her mother. Again, she did not approve of me. Claims that was the fight was about. It's foggy. Hans saw Magdalene with me at midday. I guess the fight must have been over, or something doesn't add up. The winds were picking up and the rain was heavy, and the storm was just building and building, and the roof was torn from the tavern. It was flung into the village square. Hans was there to help Friedrich, who got hurt. I got hurt because other things were being picked up and carried by the wind, and it hit me in the shoulder and neck. Now Magdalene says she wasn't there to help me. I had a massive fight with Johanna about an inheritance that she feels entitled to, despite it being rightfully mine and by law rightfully Magdalene's. Johanna feels like she's owed. Magdalene went back to the market to shop for the afternoon for Christmas Eve dinner. It's not at the market, yes, at the market, other side of the market. It's so vague. Hans wanted to talk to me about getting closer to Mila than he feels we should have been. But I wasn't. I don't. He saw Johanna running out of my house in tears, even though I wasn't there. Johanna had stopped by to apologize for the fight about the inheritance. That is apparently missing anyway. Magdalene said to her that I was gone and wouldn't let her in the house, that I wasn't in a forgiving mood. I wanted to go into the woods and get Magdalene something like I used to when we were first courting. She'd been distant all day. she didn't trust me anymore. I couldn't find my knife. I always have my knife, and suddenly it's missing. Magdalene finally told me that she was hurt because she saw me and Hans talking intimately. Apparently she'd already been lying about a number of things in the day. She followed me as I was checking on the hides when the flood started to pick up. And the deaths were already happening all around us. She thought I was going to meet up with Hans. Meanwhile, Johanna was woken up by some clattering noise. Couldn't go back to sleep, feeling the dread rise with the waters. Hans prayed before bed that no one would do anything rash, even though tensions had been building. Not just on this one day, but all the days before. Magdalene, I'm so sorry that you were crying right after midnight. So sorry you were afraid. Death in the waters were everywhere. Johanna, I'm sorry you had to see this. You were frozen and you couldn't move. Hans, you're right, it is hard to move through waist-high water. I'm sorry none of you could prevent my death. Sorry none of you could tell the truth. I'm sorry, I still don't know what happened to me. I'm sorry I have to be here another year, another century. Sorry you couldn't see past your own selfish interests. Pitiful pain. And give grace to all the souls in this village. With that, the ghost leaves. He simply leaves. Medium blows out the candle, throws the water on the floor. Hope you're proud of yourselves. You know he will return for you. They will all come back, year after year. I came here to help, but honestly, you deserve this. The medium walks out as well, leaving the three of you sitting at the table. Just looking at each other.
I put my face in my hands and I cry.
I get up. I'm gonna walk outside and wait for Johanna.
I'm going to sit there for a moment. Processing and I will stand and almost put a hand on Magdalene's shoulder and then change my mind before I exit the room.
I will wave you over from a ways as you exit.
Hans,
Johanna. Be careful around Magdalene.
what do you mean?
On that night, I was too slow. And when I walked towards the back and heard the commotion you did, she was holding the knife. And with everything that happened, I couldn't see another corpse. I couldn't see them hang another person that died because I was stupid and in love.
Oh, God.
And next year I won't be here. And I'll just walk away.
I'm going to let him go and just stand there. But I will leave before I hear Magdalena start to move. And I don't know where I'm going. Just away from everything.
I am crying at that table for a while. Probably long after Hans and Johanna have already left. Before I head home and quietly make my way through the house that I share with my father. I pack up a bag, make sure that I have the knife that belonged to my beloved husband. And I will pack up a bag and I will leave our small village.
You're walking away across this dark landscape in the cold on Christmas Eve. You're hearing the sound of church bells. You have the feeling that there's someone walking beside you. Dark hair, the deepest brown eyes.
There is not a day that has gone by that I do not regret what I did, Heinrich. I'm so sorry. I should have trusted you.
There's no response. Walking at your side.
I don't deserve a response.
I think that's a beautiful sentence to end this on. Thank you to all my wonderful players and everyone in chat who's still with us. This game tends to have a lot of options for endings, and it doesn't always have a very clear-cut, dramatic scene. Well done, guys. Excellent improvisation. If everyone has had a moment, we'll go around, do our sign-offs. This isn't I mean, you can stretch this game as long as you want, but we're like on a bit of a time crunch because of other streams today. So we had a bit of a turbo run. And I think people still dived nice and deep in what little time we had. So I'm very proud of you. Thank you. Graeme, let's start with you.
Oh, heck, hey everyone, my name is Graeme, or Graham Crackers, and today I had the wonderful delight of playing Hans. But you can find me on my own channel on Fridays at twitch.tv/GrahamCrackers, that's with AZ, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. You can find me on Open for Adventure on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, playing Samander, and you can find me on my own channel next year with 2 long-term campaigns that are currently holding auditions, and you should check out my Twitch, which is Graham Crackers with a Z1, if you're interested. And that's all I've got. So I will hand it off to Mare.
Hi, I'm Mare. You can find me on Twitter at Archmage of Dice. You can see it right here on the overlay. Is that correct? Yeah. On Saturday nights at 8:30 Eastern, you can find me on Open for Adventure, playing Lichten Brattlesby in the Numenera campaign, which is set in the Numenera system created by Monte Cook Grames. I also have a couple one-shots on my channel that are coming up. One is still needs a date, but the other one will be Friday at 7:30 Eastern on December 4th, where I have a lovely group that are playing an all-centaur game, and they're stealing something. And they made a lovely class choice. It's very interesting, let's put it that way.
Is it called Horse Heist?
No, they're called the Holy Hooves.
Yeah,
because
oh god. Oh, they're all paladins?
They're all clerics.
Oh, it's almost as bad.
It's great. I think that's it. Oh, and on Sundays I play Golden Sun on Golden Sunday at 10:30 Eastern with my husband, where we destroy your favorite childhood game, if you've ever played it.
Thank you. Eva.
One of these days, I can unmute myself.
Hi. You got there in the end.
I'm Eva. At least I knew the question this time. Hi. Hi, I'm Eva. This is my channel. You can sometimes find me streaming video games, but right now it is apparently all TTRPG content all the time. Thanks to my wonderful friends and Anniek for being like the best GM ever. If you liked this content and you want to see more feels with a capital F and a Z and a trademark symbol at the end, we, by which I mean Anniek, will be running 2 more. I can announce this, right? I don't know if we have times,
Yep.
but
no, you can. We don't have times, but we have dates.
yes, December 12th and December 15th, and there will be other good times coming down the way at some point. I don't think any of those have dates, but that's cool. That's fine. It's whatever. Something in 1 hour and 15 minutes. I can be found on O4A. Probably feeling more things as Finlay. It's cool. It's fine. Did it to myself. And I think that's all I've got at the moment. Oh, I had the extreme joy of playing Johanna Marika, who has a terrible memory, it turns out.
Wait, was my grandfather dead or not?
Okay.
Not my grandfather.
Okay, so the thing I had to look up during break was what happens when players unintentionally lie through their teeth.
Okay, so the problem was I wrote down that my grandfather died in the flood, and I'm thinking maybe he was just really sick, and that's why we were lighting candles. But I didn't think of that until like the end after.
Well, also the inheritance thing. It was two scenes where I was like, but he's not dead yet.
Okay,
he's gonna be dead eventually.
To be fair, people
good as
do
dead.
discuss inheritances before people die, which is not something that we need to talk about now, but is definitely a thing that happens.
True. I mean, if you're smart about it, anyway.
Anyway, he's definitely dead now. So.
Oh, he's definitely dead now. Been dead for years.
Yes.
Yeah, like 3 or 5.
3.
3.
I think that means it's my turn. My name is Anniek. You can find me on Twitter at Anniekster. Let's see. I run 2 more of these, as previously mentioned, on the 12th and the 15th of December. I will be running other good stuff here and maybe on other channels, because there's lots of people that might let me use their channels if I want to run stuff, and I have no life and a lot of systems I like to play, so I still want to do more 10 Candles and Ryutama, and I still have to run Call of Quack-Tulu at some point. So, shit's happening. Those don't have dates or groups yet. I do have Uncaged every Wednesday on Open for Adventure, where my Fey-inclined little villagers are training to become real adventurers and just doing so good. So good. So good. I mean, not everyone has had to roll death saving throws yet. We're working on it. I think that covers it for us, for all of us. I had fun. I can't possibly pick a favorite scene today because it was all good. If you're interested in this game, there's a link to buy it somewhere. Mitch is in chat. He already won one. If you really want to flex your improv, this game is amazing because you start your game knowing basically your name, your age, your occupation. And I've handed out the roles and the secrets. So who was the murderer and stuff, I think 5 or 10 minutes before we went live. And then you just got to go with it. And whatever someone says is true or not. So you just, and I, as the facilitator, know basically nothing because they're all just telling me a story of how I died. So it's really, I really like it. It's all narrative. And it really helps if you have a good memory, but it's also hilarious if you don't.
Now I want to run it.
I mean, please do. I'll
Same.
play in it. It's really fun. I mean, I was in one of the play tests on Other Doc's channel when they were trying to find out with how many people you can play this. So it was there's been a few good tweaks, but it was fun even if it was being developed. And I can just heartily recommend it. There's a reason I'm running 3 groups through this. It's just so good. So yeah, tune in later for any of the amazing stuff happening here today. Pet your pets. Hydrate. Don't slouch. It's bad for your back. Be good to yourself. Be good to other people. And we'll see you around.